Welcome to the Smart Response Assessment demo. What we're going to show you today is how you can use Smart Response software to give tests in your class and quickly and easily grade those assessments and add them into your progress book. We start this by opening up the notebook software and the assessment that we've already got created. More on how to create them in a minute. And then we're going to open up the Teacher Tools software in your Smart Response. And we're going to choose a class. So this class is going to be my Second Bell Zoology class. You click Start the Class, and then you minimize this screen. And then we go to our notebook software that we have set up with our assessment, and we click Start the Assessment Now. Once the assessment starts, you will be given this ID number, which is your assessment ID. Any student anywhere in the world, actually, can then, using any internet-ready device, open up a browser window and go to smartresponse.com. In the response.smarttech.com. In there, they will enter the assessment number, which we had on the other screen. So it's 985436. 985436. I have to write that down because I don't have good enough memory. 985436. And then they have to put in their student ID. So the student enters their assessment number and their ID number, and then clicks Sign In. That will take them to the screen that says, are you Carson Beach? Well, no, I'm not, but we're going to use his ID anyway. So click Yes, and it takes you to the assessment. So these are the questions that we have set up in our assessment, and these are the responses. So a branch of biology dealing with interactions among organisms and between organisms and their environment is called ecology. Click. And so the students will go through and they will take their test, and I'm just going to choose some answers here so that we can get through this relatively quickly. Guess I should have figured out what the correct answers were. Anyway, then once you've answered all the questions, it'll give you this question list. You can go back and look at the questions and change your answers once you have the question list. You can make sure that you've given an answer to each question before you submit. Once you submit, you can't go back and change this. If you haven't clicked submit and the student gets logged out for some reason because the internet crashes or whatever, they can come back in and it will bring them right back to where they are in the test. Once they click submit, they get a screen, and in this case it's waiting for them, waiting for me to do something to tell them what their answers are. So we'll go back to the assessment and we'll click stop the assessment. Once the assessment is stopped, we can then go export the answers, and it will tell them which ones they've got correct and which one they've got wrong. So students get immediate feedback as to what they are doing in your class. Now I'm using a different file here because this is one that we've actually done in our class so that I can demonstrate to you how you go about exporting the results of this survey directly to your class. First of all, if you look at this results tab right here, if you follow the icon, the results tab will show you a summary of the responses for each question. The green bars represent the number of correct answers. There were 25 students taking the quiz, and there were 20 questions in the quiz. And if you flip into each individual slide, you get the percentage who got the correct answer and the percentage who answered something else. second one was 100%. And this one, 72% answered B, which was the correct answer, so it's green colored. 8% answered C, 20% answered D. So you can check for understanding and get an idea of what concepts are being missed in your class. In order to export the results, you're going to go to Response tab at the top. You're going to export results to comma separated values. Once you've clicked the export, it's going to give you the opportunity to save the file. You want to make sure you know what location you're putting that file into. I'm going to save this one into a folder I have on my desktop called junk, and click save. Notice it has a unique name. It says Zoology Open Book Test Chapter 3, and then I always add a bell to it so that I can sort out which classes. I have 2 zoology classes, which one are which. If I click save, it's going to save that as a CSV file, and then it's going to ask me what data do I want. I can export the student ID and their final grade. I could also get the number they got correct, the number they got incorrect. I can even get the answers to the individual questions, and I can get a class average. But since my purpose is to just export their final grade directly into Progress Book, just choose student ID, final grade, and then column headers, and click OK. It'll give you this file, which is a notepad file. We don't usually do anything with this file because we're going to go open this file in Excel. So click close for that. And then we're going to move to that file folder, which go to Explorer, go to Desktop, look for a folder called Junk on my desktop, which I can't find. There it is. And then we're going to click this Excel spreadsheet file. When we open it up, it'll pop up. The file opens and looks like this. You want to expand it to the extreme and then separate it so you can see the scores that the students got. At this point, you know right away if you need to do something. If this turns out to be a 0, then you need to look and see if the student turned it in or if something else was taking place. But in reality, all we really want are the student ID right here and their grade. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this file, this column, just click it at the top, right click, and click delete. All that information goes away. Scroll down to the bottom, click the bottom part of the file, and let's take out all the questions. Those are actually the questions that were in the assessment. Click delete, those go away. You go back to the top. Now we just have 2 columns, one with their ID number and one with their grade. You're going to click close, the X, and then save. It's going to tell you the file already exists. You click yes, and then you're good. Now you can close out of Excel, and we're going to go to Progress Book. In Progress Book, we're going to look for an assignment. I create an assignment in my second period zoology class, called it Junk, so I'm going to open that assessment up. And right here at the bottom in the left-hand corner, it says Import Marks. We're going to import the grades for this assessment. So click on that. It's going to bring up a dialog box. You want to tell it that your first row contains headers, so click yes, and then click Choose File. Here we're going to go to our desktop, and we're going to go to the junk folder, and we're going to click that file we just modified in Excel, click open, puts that file name there, and then click import the marks. When you import the marks, it shows you the student name, the mark they've got, and the status, which the green arrow or green check mark means things are good, and then we click save. And voila, all of our grades are in our grade book.